Hi everyone, I'm Lori Whitlock. Welcome to the YouTube channel today. Every year I come up with a new Christmas village, and this year you're looking at the newest rendition of the Christmas Village SVG files that I have created. We have one more building we're going to put together together. I just wanted to show you how beautiful they are when they're all lit up. So I'm going to have the lights go out for a minute, and you can see how pretty this house looks when it's all lit up. So we'll go ahead and turn the lights back on. And I just wanted to show you the different pieces and the features of this village. The first thing I wanted to point out is they're all the same width, so there's a nice uniform look to them. They're also all the same depth, except for the little front door that pops out on 3 of them. The one we're going to put together has that feature as well. So they look really pretty on a mantle. They just are nice and uniform. They are not too thick so that they don't stick out over the mantle. They're just a great size for decorating for the holidays. So if you'll notice on the back of them, there's a nice open hole so that you can put battery operated tea lights or fairy lights or whatever you would like to light them up with. In fact, in this one right here, I've actually got 3 tea lights and some fairy lights. That might be just a little bit of overkill, but I've been playing with the different options. So the lights you're looking at here are tea lights that actually move. So they kind of flicker. They're really cool. They kind of give the effect that there's a real candle inside of these houses. I believe these are luminaria. They have a little timer on the back. You can set them to be on for 5 hours at the same time every day, which is great. Or you can purchase an optional remote control so that you can just turn them on whenever you want to, which I think is such a fun feature. They're a little more expensive than a traditional tea light, but I think these are very good quality and they'll last you a long time. And the flickering looks so cool. I've also used a few of those fairy lights that we used last week in those shadow boxes. You can tuck those inside or glue them around the inside of the house if you want to. Like I said, there's that opening on the back side so that you have plenty of room to get in there and do whatever you need to for lighting. So I'm going to take the lights away for right now, and we're going to put one of these together. They're all assembled in a very similar fashion. I've just changed up the window casings and the entrances. We've added a steeple to the church. We're going to add a little chimney to the house that I'm about to put together. And just so you know, the piece on, let's see, this piece right here, this is the one we're going to add the chimney to. But this house, this roof line is interchangeable to all the houses. So if you wanted to add chimneys to all of them, you could grab the one off of this house to get the holes in the roof and the little chimney piece. So we'll put that together. There's also that steeple that's on the church. It's assembled really similarly to the chimney, except it has a peak in the middle and then a way to glue on the little pyramid shape here at the top. So there'll be little tabs that go up from this, basically the top of the chimney. And I mean, it's a bell tower obviously on the church, but it's kind of basically like a chimney with little tabs at the top. So let's set these aside and we'll get busy putting together a full house, and we'll put together this chimney roof as well. So let's actually start out with the full house and then we'll do the roofs last. So the one that we need to put together, this is the bottom piece. I have cut a custom bottom covering panel that juts out for that front entryway. So that's the bottom for this house. We've got all this cute snowflake paper for the covering panels. This is the front of the house. And the house is constructed with 2 main pieces that look like this. Make sure you get them oriented in the correct direction. You want to make sure you have a side, front, a side, and a back. Make sure the front connects to the side and not to the back, or it won't go together properly. And what I like to do first is go ahead and put those covering panels on. So make sure you've got everything oriented in the correct direction so that you don't get a covering panel glued on the back side. But this one's going to glue here, and you can line these up really well with the windows. There's a tiny bit of wiggle room so that our casings don't show through to the pattern paper. So they're going to go just like this. And you can play around with your pattern papers. I've done really soft colors on these, but on the back of this pattern paper, you can see there's a much more dramatic color. But all of the ones that I've already assembled have pretty soft patterns, snowflake patterns. The church has a wood grain pattern. This all came from my winter collection that I designed last winter for Echo Park Paper Company. I will put a link in the description of this video to that paper in case you're interested in purchasing this exact paper. I'm just going to go ahead and put some adhesive on the back of this covering panel. I'm getting just a little bit there on those windows. And then you just want to make sure you line up that covering panel as well as you can. There should be a tiny bit of gap, teeny tiny bit of gap of white showing around those windows, and about a little less than 1/8 of an inch all the way around that covering panel. So we'll go ahead and glue that to cover on the front. So if it's overwhelming to make the entire village, you could certainly just make a house or two. And if you enjoy making it, you can make more. That's the fun thing about this. You can add on to it, make it as big or as small as you'd like. If you just want 1 or 3 pieces, that works as well. Okay, so now this is the front of our building. Again, just watch very carefully as you're lining this up that all the windows and the door, front door lines up. Perfect, just like that. Okay, so I'm going to move that one off to the side and we'll do the back. Actually, I did give you a covering panel for this back, but I did not cut it. So you do not have to cut it if you don't want to. I don't think I would show the back with this hole in it. You might want to figure out how to cover that or something if you're really wanting to put it in the middle of a room. I was planning for this to go against, like up on a mantle, against the wall or the fireplace in my home. So maybe a bookshelf or the top of a bookshelf would be really cute up there too. Okay, there we go. That side's glued on, and again, that back, I'm just going to leave that blank for now. Now that we have the covering panels on the 2 main pieces, I'm going to move those out of the way, and we're going to put the covering panels on this little dormer piece. So let's flip that over, and it's a little bit thin on some of these areas, so you might prefer using a liquid adhesive on those 2 sides especially. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and place that right here on the front door area. And then we have 2 side pieces here that are going to glue on each side of the door. Okay. Here's one, and here's the other one. Okay, now that we have those in place, we can start putting all of the window casings on. So here's the front door casing. It's just got the 6 holes in the front. And I do think I'm going to start using some liquid adhesive at this point. I've got this Eileen's tacky glue. A lot of people ask me about that in the video, and I will link to that on Amazon so that you can pick some up if you like it. It's just got a nice fine tip to it. It's easy to use. Probably need my pick-me-up tool. Might grab that next. Put that front door in place, and then you would just continue on to do the rest of the windows on the whole house, just like that. And you can get really creative on your color combinations. I've chosen to put dark trim on all the pieces in this village. Often use white casings. I think that looks really nice. But you could do red and green, you could do Christmas colors, you could do winter colors, you could keep it all very neutral, whatever fits your style, the decor of your home for the holidays. But at least you can see what it looks like the way I've done it with the dark trim. Maybe that'll help you decide how you want yours to look. So I have this handy little silhouette tool. It's the pick-me-up tool. I use it a lot in these videos. Helps me pick up small pieces and place them. So I'll put glue on. And then sometimes I'll use this tool to help me nudge it around. The other end has this flat edge to it, which is super helpful when I'm paper crafting. It's also great for wiping away excess glue. And so this might take me just a minute. I'm gonna probably speed up the video as we place these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more windows on. Now that we have all the window casings on, it's time to start folding everything. This piece here is the little roof to our dormer, front dormer. So just hang on to that for a minute until we put that on. You'll notice there's no casing on this hole here. It's because our front dormer is going to line up with that hole exactly when we go to glue it on. So let's go ahead and fold all of those pieces towards the inside. And you can use a bone folder and really take your time to get nice, crisp folds. Let's see, my bone folder's over here. So just make sure that your side panels, or side folds are really crisp so that that front piece stands out really nicely. And the first thing I'm going to do is just glue this little glue tab here. I'm going to fold everything flat so I can use my table here. Put a little glue on that. Fold that over and press, give that a good press so it'll be sealed really nicely. Okay, so we'll fold those two sides on the bottom in. Actually, let's do this so that you can't see the bottom, those folds. Let's do the back first, the one with the large opening, push that in, and then the two sides, and then the back, the front, so that when you look down in there, you just don't see much. So I'm going to put a little adhesive on all those layers. Then you don't see little side flaps folding in. You just see the bottom. Okay, so let's just put a little pressure on that. Make sure it gets a good press. And then on the roof, we just have these sides to fold in. I think I'm going to push these the large pieces down first and just glue the glue tabs down to that. In fact, I think I'm just going to use some tape runner. Oh, there we are. Thought it was out for a second. Get a little tape runner on those flaps, and we'll just put those that large piece down first, and then fold those two side pieces down to glue to it. And you should be able to get your finger in there. Make sure everything is sealed up good, and we're going to be putting that here on the front of our house, lining it up with that opening so that our light can shine through. So the debate is always tape runner or glue, but glue does stay together a little longer, but it also takes longer to dry. So I'm just going to make sure that's lined up with this bottom crease here on the house, and it Might be easier to put this on after you build the house, but I'm going to glue it on now since I can see it really well. And I'm going to let that dry for a minute while we put together the back, or start folding the back, I should say. Okay. And then we'll put the roof on at the end with all the roof pieces. So we'll let that dry for a minute. And we'll take this back piece and just start folding everything towards the middle. And using that bone folder to get a good crease. And then we'll be doing the same thing for the other side of the house as well. So it might be better to go ahead and fold and use your bone folder on that before putting that front dormer on, but we will make do. I just wanted to give that a little extra time to dry while we're on video. These houses are really simple to put together, nothing too complicated, but they're really, really, really cute and quite sturdy, especially when you cut these out of heavier cardstock. I believe this white cardstock is 100 pound, which is pretty heavy. You wouldn't have to do it out of that heavy of cardstock. In fact, I think some of these are done out of a little bit lighter cardstock, but when they're done out of the heavy, they're really sturdy. So last ones we need to do here, or the last one we need to do, is right here at the bottom. This one would have probably been easier to fold before gluing on that front door. Okay, I've got it folded, so that's okay. Okay, so now we're gonna attach this side to the front, and then we'll close it up on the back. Little bit of paper there. Sometimes the end of that picking up tool is a good adhesive remover, kind of like a magic eraser. Okay, so then we just need to close up the back here. So I'm going to put some adhesive on that. If you fold it like this, that dormer doesn't get in the way, and you can just seal that whole side up using the table to press it on. Okay, now we can fold those bottom flaps in, and we can glue the bottom on. Looks like that. And here's our bottom piece. And I'm just going to go ahead and coat the edges so you can see the glue is going to go around and then out here in the dormer area. So basically a rectangle and then that dormer. Okay, so I've just coated a 1/4 inch all the way around, and then just going to put that on the bottom of my house to make it look nice and finished. Isn't that great? Now we just need to close up the roof. I think I'm going to do the same thing here by putting those, if you'll do this, then you can push it on those sides to get the perfect spacing, and you don't have to see any glue edge there because we're going to cover it with a roof piece here in a minute. If that makes sense, you can glue it this way if you would prefer, and that's fine, but you'll have to just be very careful to get them exactly the right distance. I just kind of like slipping that piece inside and letting those overlap and pushing them in. So I'm going to put glue on the insides here. Sorry, it's kind of hard to see exactly what I'm doing here. So putting some glue on the insides of those two flaps. And at this point, I'm just gonna pull, maybe I'm gonna push in on this white piece and push down on that glue tab. Same thing with the other side, and I just hold the house together. That way you have the perfect spacing all the way up and down. Just don't let that get a gap. And I think I might have just done that, so I can pull that apart. Just make sure there's no gapping in there. Okay, that side's done. So now we're gonna do the same thing on this side. And instead of putting the glue on the insides of these, I think I'm just gonna put it on the outside right here and here. Might be a little bit easier, maybe. We'll see. Okay, so I just put a little bit there and there. And we'll close up that part and this part. And that'll form a nice peak at the top of your house, and we're gonna put the whole roof on top, so all of that will be covered anyways. So now let's put the roof on the little dormer piece and on the top. I feel like you might need to reach in there and just push down on those glue tabs on the bottom. Get the bottom of the box sealed really well. Mine was coming loose a little bit. Okay, so the roof for this house does not have the chimney, but I will show you how to do the chimney, and you could interchange the roof for any of these houses. So this is the little dormer roof. We're just going to glue that on there and glue this on here and give it this one's going to glue all the way to the back of the house, so it just overhangs a little on the front and the two sides. So I'm just going to put some adhesive on that. And glue that down. Perfect. Got a little goober there. Okay, and then the roof, we're just going to center it front and back so it has a little bit of overhang on both sides. So I think I'm just going to, I don't know what's the easiest. I'm going to use some glue because we can give it some time to dry. Sometimes it's hard to decide on video if I want to use the glue. This one's coming loose a little, so I'm going to tuck a little glue under there. Okay, so now we'll just take our roof. Oh, I got just a little glue there, so I'm going to fold it the other way and use this as my outside. And just make sure you have it centered. And press down on that. Oh, I'm going to get glue on it one way or another. Okay, it just gives it a little character, right? Okay, so I'm just gonna put this to the side and maybe have someone hold that in place. You know, I do have a little more overhang on the front than on the back, so I'm gonna move it while I still can. Just make sure you center it the way you want it before the glue dries. Okay, so I'm just gonna set that off to the side for a few minutes. Let that dry, and I'll show you real quick how to put the roof on this house. So this house has a roof with a little hole in it. We have a little chimney to put together. So the chimney piece looks like this. You're going to fold these two flaps out. Those are our glue tabs to put it onto the roof, and this is our side glue tab. So just put a little adhesive here on this side piece. Fold that over, and that completes the top of the chimney. Now we just need to install it, and to do that you're going to put the long edge of the chimney towards the edge of the paper, and the short tab on the short edge of the chimney towards the center crease. And on the back you can kind of see how that's going to look. We're just going to fold those tabs out and glue them down. That's going to hold our chimney firmly in place. Put a little dot of glue in there. And you can get your finger in there to just pinch that in place and give it some pressure while it's drying. And you can see how that really nicely installs our chimney on our roof. As soon as that's done drying, we can install this on our house, just like we did on the last one. Look how cute. And you can decide which way you want your chimney to face. Put a little more glue here. I need my little eraser, my gummy eraser. Okay, that's how the chimney looks. And this chimney can go on any of the houses if you use this roof line. And so, okay, so that is it. Let's go ahead and put this chimney or this roof on our house. This time I'm going to use some tape runner just for the sake of time. I don't want to have to wait for it to dry, but I do want you to see all of the pieces finished up. Just be careful to center that overhang. So cute. Okay, so let's clean up just a little bit here and I'll bring all the houses back out. So we have some with little front door dormers and some without. And you can get creative with your coloring, mix and match as you would like. You can put fairy lights or tea lights in through this nice big opening in the back. And this is the perfect little village to decorate for the holidays. And you can even add like little wreaths to them, trees to them. I have lots of embellishments that you could add from other files. I've got cute little trees. You could add bottle brush trees. Even larger ones would be darling too. So I hope that gives you some ideas. Oh, also you could add snowflakes and, you know, wreaths to the doors if you wanted to. Either, like I said, I have some on some files that you could pull off and add if you wanted to embellish with those. Or you could even get the little wreaths at the craft store and add them to these. Wouldn't that be cute? So I hope you have fun making these. I hope you enjoy decorating the holidays with them. And I would love to see pictures of what you make and the variations that you create. I think it's so fun to see what everybody else does with my files. So please post them, email them to me at info@loriwhitlock.com. I would love to see them. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see y'all in another video. Bye-bye.